actually terrible, and people are going to be like, I can't believe we put these things on our heads 24 hours a day, and like these things that people wear on their arms. I don't know. What do I know? But it's just a theory. It's just a theory. But yeah, we just put these things, like this, technological companies come out with these headphones and they tell you, hey, these are not very safe. But like nobody reads that. Oh, I just started the live. I'm full of shit. Don't listen to me. I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're perfectly safe. But there was a time when doctors prescribed cigarettes to calm people down and for anxiety. And then later on, they were like, oh, oops, we probably shouldn't have done that. Are you laughing, Robbie? I mean, I'm just saying, like, I've looked and read the little, like, brochures that come with the cell phones, and that come with, this is not what this live is about. It was about aliens. We're going to get to aliens. People are popping in. We'll talk about aliens. I just somehow started talking about Bluetooth and brain cancer. I'm just saying, though, it's only a matter of time. So yeah, so I just use my regular good old-fashioned plug-in, headphones that come with my thing. Tell me about aliens. What do you want to know? I thought the cryopoly method was... All right, now it's like a bunch of Bluetooth and what? Bluetooth and aliens. It's aliens. That's what it says. You're not wrong. Tech often advances ahead of our understanding of it. Yeah, I just feel like it's only a matter of time. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm obviously full of shit. Like, what do I know? I'm just some chick on TikTok. But I don't know. I don't want to find out the hard way. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, we're going to talk about aliens and stuff. Somebody asked me, what do I know about aliens? I don't know shit about aliens. I know about humans, kind of. I don't know shit about anything, really. What do we know about anything? What do we know about anything? Your brother just gifted you Bluetooth earbuds. I'm sorry. Ignore everything I just said. Hey, Nubian goddess. Hey, girl. Hey. Love some ETs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about aliens beyond just like reverse common sense. Is that a thing? Reverse common sense? When I say reverse common sense, it's like you look around and you kind of start to think that perhaps like everything that they're telling us is a lie, because they keep like okay, I'm like in my 30s, mid 30s, okay, literally mid 30s, and growing up, it was like weird to talk about aliens, like seriously, and I'm still a bit like freaked out talking about it, because there's a part of my brain that's going to be like, that's saying to me like, okay, that part of my brain is the internal monologue, which is the asshole that I also think it's an extraterrestrial intelligence, but that's not what we're talking about right now. But that part of my brain is like, when I want to talk about aliens, is like, you're going to sound crazy, which I wonder if it's like programmed in. Hey, Witch, how are you? Hopped in on another live. Thank you for joining. Are you a Sagittarius? No, I'm not. Wasn't normalized until the last few years. Yeah, so like I'm old enough to remember a time when if you said you legit believed in like extraterrestrials or non-human intelligence, it would, to say non-human intelligence, that's not even something that's like commonly, I'm the artist. That's not even something that's like, thank you. That's not even something that's like common to even say now. But there was a time that I lived through when you could say, like, if you said, I believe that, like, we're not alone and they're actually aliens, like, you would get laughed at. People would think you were crazy and you might even get committed, let alone saying that you, like, saw some shit, right? And now, like, somebody commented, it's like only within the last, like, couple of years or so that, like, you can kind of come out of the closet as, like, an alien believer, right? But there was a time when you could, like, watch the X-Files, the original X-Files. And you guys are loving the art. Thank you. There was a time when you could watch the original X-Files, and it was just sort of like fiction-ish, right? You could watch it almost like, I guess, ironically. Like, I was like, oh, that'd be weird if that actually happened, but that would, like, never happen because, like, aliens aren't real. Ha, ha, ha. And then it came out, and, like, the reboot was terrible. But when you watch it again, you're watching it like, shit, this is really happening right now. They are lying to us. They have been lying to us our whole lives. Yeah. Anyway, so here we are now with I think the videos that I posted. Hey, Sorry, I'm trying to like focus. I do read comments. It's hot in here. I turn on my AC on. I do read, it's not acrylic, it's oil. I do read comments. I just, obviously, as you've seen, I have an attention issue, focus issue. So I want to engage with you guys, but I also want to like get my ideas out. I'm trying to do both. I'm not very good at that, but you know, roll with me. We got this. We got this. Best way to contact me from art, just Jolie Artist, like my username, and then .com. Your mind is enigmatic. Thank you. Did you paint that picture? I did. I'm very talented. Thank you. X-File did a fine job cracking the shell of restricting conversations about aliens. They did, but it was like regular people sort of coming out and saying like, hey, I've seen some weird shit, right? And because the news and the government and everything like that, like gaslit people into not believing their own like senses, they just kind of got quiet. And now these congressional hearings more and more are coming out and saying, hey, sorry, we gaslit you guys into into believing that aliens weren't real and they were like weather balloons and whatever the fuck else that they came up with, Venus farting or something like that, whatever bullshit. The stories that they even came up with to like get people to not trust their own perception, not trust what they were experiencing. Thank you. The shirt's on jolieartist.com. Were ridiculous, right? But we're so programmed, we're so socialized that like if the media says something, right, then it's true. If your neighbor says something, that's a lie. And we all know the media would never lie to us. So here we are now. And what I've been doing on this channel specifically, on my podcast as well, is I really want to discuss what would an alien look like? What would an extraterrestrial look like? What would a non-human intelligence look like, right? And the last couple of episodes, I've been talking about an auditory consciousness. Can sound itself be conscious? I'm not going to like repeat for people who were on the last live, but the general idea is that we have been socialized, programmed, right, to expect aliens to have 2 feet, 2 hands, to look like us, right? Why, right? A really good, I guess, I don't know, retelling, whatever it is. If somebody has said that like aliens could have been like squids, octopus, octopi, octopuses, I don't know what the plural is. Anyway, they could be alien, right? But our metrics of measuring intelligence is always measured against human, right? So we just assume, hey, because we would travel to outer space on a spaceship using fossil fuels, then anything that's intelligent would also do the exact same thing that we would do because we're octopuses. Why are y'all laughing at that? Come on. Whatever. Octopi. Wait. Anyway, so we our measure of intelligence, it's always been us, which is arrogant. It's arrogant and it's also stupid, right? It's dumb, right? But it's a program that we've sort of locked ourselves into, and it's sort of reinforced with our media, with our movies, with our TV shows, right? E.T., it's like it's always like an ugly version of a human being, right? Aliens, it's always an ugly version of a human being. Predator, right? Then it had dreadlocks. why did the Predator have dreadlocks? Like, what is that? Like, what's it? You know? So why would it have to be physical? Why would it have to be humanoid? Why would it's even Star Trek? I love Star Trek because they sort of explore the gambit of what, you know, non-human intelligence would look like. But for the most part, and probably for, you know, I don't know, money, right? It was just easier to put a bunch of costumes on humans and have them kind of look humans, right? So my favorite aliens on Star Trek were the Klingons. I don't know, I just thought they were like a cool vibe or whatever. They were still humanoids, you know? But why would it have to take on this form? And so I've sort of been diving into the concept of not only just aliens, maybe from another planet, but could they also be from another dimension, right? Because we ourselves can't conceptualize what the fifth dimension, I mean, the fourth dimension is like space-time. We can kind of wrap our minds around that. But then when you start going to the fifth dimension, sixth dimension, like we can't even conceptualize what the sixth and seventh dimension would look like. So then what would an intelligence from a fifth or sixth dimension look like? You get what I mean? Hey, I don't want to go live with you. Sorry. You get what I mean? So these are topics that I think more and more of us should be discussing. I don't know. That's just my thing. Every time I go live, people ask me if I'm tran. I'm not tran. I am very tall. I don't take offense to that because I've seen some bad bitches. Oh my God. Like, there are a lot of trans women or transgender women who, like, wow. So I'm just going to take that as a compliment. It's probably because my hands are really big. But no, I'm just a tall woman. But I'm not trans. I don't know what that has to do with aliens. But yeah, back on topic. I want to hear what you guys are saying. We're light beings. You believe in people, the channel ET. I mean, I'm not here. Here I am, like, just sort of trying to make sense of it all. I don't know everything. I'll be the first person to tell you I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That is my painting behind me. So if other people are reporting channeling extraterrestrials, then more power to them. But I have made the argument that could consciousness exist purely in auditory form, right? So if they're channeling ETs, could they be channeling an intelligence that is just pure sound? And so what they're hearing is the intelligence itself. And like, if I could like create like a weird sci-fi show, I would have like an auditory consciousness that like presented like sort of like gaseous or whatever, like we would perceive it as like gas, but it's obviously not gas, just for money reasons. But I would have it like entering people's heads. And then like I would have the main character like all of a sudden start like saying what this like sound creature is like saying to it. And then all of a sudden like it takes over them or takes them over. And then like what they heard, right, comes out of their mouth. And then like that's how the auditory consciousness like reproduces. That's weird. That's probably weird. But that's what I would do. I want to visualize that, right? Because like earworms, for example, like you get a song, it's stuck in your, please, I just smoked a J. I love when people hop on the live and they're high because I say crazy shit. And I love freaking out high people. Thank you for joining. Please invite your high friends. Let's talk. The brains are completely different than ours and perceive things ours can't. Yeah, so just because it's not something that's, sorry, said I'm high as fuck. Just because it's not something that I could do, I'm not about to like, hey, Jax. I'm not about to like, actually, Jax is like one of the hottest characters on the Star Trek series. Just want to throw that out there. Anyway, did you get your show deal? No, not yet. I had like a couple of people reach out, but then like COVID happened. So it is what it is. But I'm going to keep on keeping on. Child, if I listened to this high, my brain would explode. Let's go. Let's talk weird stuff. So I like weird questions, right? I like interesting questions. So if you have any sort of like, not like weird, like insight, like science, sci-fi, like Westworld, like even fantasy. Like right now, the shows that I'm really vibing with is like Sandman, Westworld. I just finished Legacies. I don't think that counts because it was one of those, like, Legacies is just one of those shows that, like, you turn on just so you stop thinking. It's like background show. You're not really watching it. It's there. But Westworld Season 4 has been pretty good. Not as good as Season 1. If you haven't watched it, please watch it. What is my opinion on Dolores Cannon? People ask me that a lot. I'm not a hybrid child. My opinion is I have no opinion. I've read some of her books. They didn't vibe with me in my chest area. Like, actually, I'm not even going to lie. Like, I got like halfway through. I rarely do this. I rarely start a book and not finish it. But a lot of the things that they were talking about just didn't vibe with me. So I just like stopped. But that's me. Obviously, that's me. That's my perception. That is my observation. That has nothing to do. There are a lot of people who swear by her stuff and blah, blah, blah. Good for them. But if you're asking what I personally think of her, it just didn't vibe with me. It's just not my thing. Watch Death Robot, something about a swarm and move by. All right. Comment again if I missed your comment. I respect that her books are written very weird, to be honest. You think hypnosis experience has anything to do with ET? Maybe. What about Neville Goddard? Love Neville Goddard. I actually recommend his books a lot. Just because it's a different way of like seeing the world. So for sure, like my thought, like you vibe with me. So, what do you think about UFO disclosure? Do you think UFOs or USOs are extraterrestrial in origins? I actually just posted a video on that before I hopped on this live, and that is a wonderful question. I'm going to look away from the screen so I can answer, so I don't get distracted because my brain wants to keep responding. So I think that we have to be very careful when we say UFOs, because maybe that might just be one type of intelligence presenting itself, right? If there are non-human intelligence in our planet, on our plane, in our dimension, they're not only going to take on like that form. So what we could be seeing is just one type of a non-human intelligence, one species even of a non-human intelligence. And maybe they are I've argued that they're actually from the past, not necessarily from the future, but maybe they're time travelers. Maybe they are earthlings who evolved beyond physical form, and now they're sort of moving as like they're just photonic slash psychic projections. Like I think that it's a lot more nuanced than what it appears at face value, right? So I think that it's very tempting to look and see, ships in the skies and then think that, oh, they're just like us, and those are like basically just super advanced like ships. But some of what I've read about them is that, for example, the first person to report in modern times UFO, they didn't say that it was the shape of a saucer, but then there was a typo in the news, like on the newspaper that wrote it out, and then whoever it is that wrote it said saucer. So when people read it in their mind, it said saucer. So then people expected to see flying saucers in the sky, and so from that point on, what people started seeing were flying saucers, like saucer-shaped UFOs. But that was not what the initial, like, early people reported seeing. So it was a mistake that then caused people from there on out to start seeing, the saucers. So that's interesting to me. That is super interesting to me, because that tells me then that it's not something physical. It can't be. I mean, what is really physical? But that's a different conversation. That tells me that whatever this thing is it's either a projection, or it's like kind of hijacking our perceptions and showing us what we want to see. There's a lot of reports about these things basically being a reflection of the observer and their expectations. So I suspect that it is something that is more psychic. And I don't even like the word psychic, but something that's more maybe telepathic. It's connected to our brain, right? Because please keep in mind that everything we see is just a projection of the mind. So if you've read the book Holographic Universe, if you haven't, go check it out. It's by Michael Talbot. It came out in like the 90s, but it's still a good read. It's a great read. But basically what they're saying is that everything we see is just a projection of the mind. That's not the only book that said that's just the book that popped into my head right now. So if that's the case, if I were an intelligence from another dimension and I wanted you to perceive me in this reality, I would hijack your mind, and then I would essentially use your brain to show you what I want you to see. We're not that bright. The book was called Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. I'll say that again. Humanity, we're not that bright. I'm not saying that we don't have the potential to be great or to be like a super intelligent species, but as it stands right now, we're just not. We're socialized to be pretty. Honestly, we're sitting ducks. If we're being, if we're being completely honest, if you want to really sit back and say, okay, the government is coming out and they're saying that, the UFOs are non-human. Okay. Look all around, look all around us. it'd be really easy for us to get, if it hasn't already happened, I suspect it's already happened. Yeah, we're kind of ducks in a barrel. Like if I were an alien and I came down and I looked at us, I'd be like, these guys are dumb. And I would have already taken over. Like I don't even, I could take over the planet right now if I just had like a little bit more of, this is not something I think about. It's not something I think about a lot. I actually think about this a lot, but we're sitting ducks. We can't actually leave, right? We're still, you guys are laughing. We're still like trying to figure out a way, like we got to go to the moon. Oh, the last time we went to the moon was like, oh, I got a crown. Look, that's cute. We're still trying to figure out how to go to our own moon. So like anything that comes here is already like, it's over. It's done. It's done. So like I kind of like on my, I think 2 videos ago, I was like, why aren't more people talking about it? But on the other end, I was like, I kind of get why more people aren't talking about it, because it's just easy for us to just focus on like the little things that I can control, like taking out the trash or, I don't know, voting harder in the next election or whatever. But the fact that there are things in the sky, even if they aren't actually physical, even if they are projections, like even if they've hijacked our minds and they're making us see saucers, like it's over. Like it's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. I guess I laugh, so what else is there to do? It's over. It's already over. So at this point, then you have to start asking like, okay, what are they here for? And some people have said that they're just here to watch. Yeah, I mean, but if they wanted to do more than watch, like it's already done. So at this point, then you just start to ask the question, how long have they been here? So it's not even about where they're from or, you know, what they're doing here. It's more, how long have they been here, right? How long have they been here? I am tempted to sort of talk about, or I want to think about, so in Westworld season 1, there was one scene where like the Native Americans, they depicted they're not hosts, the guests. They depicted the guests as aliens. So like when, ooh, I got a hat. Ooh, sorry. So when the people who controlled like the robots froze everybody so that they can like take people or whatever. Some of the robots stayed conscious and could like remember what was seen and what was going on. They could remember what was actually going on. And as a result, they started drawing like cave paintings and things like that. But they were actually, it appeared as aliens to like the viewer, but to them, they didn't know what it was. And then made me kind of wonder if that's the same thing that's happening to us. But you start to play with the idea of, okay, what is this world, right? I wanted to actually title this live, Is Westworld Earth? Like, is Westworld an analogy of the planet Earth, specifically like the 1st and 2nd season? But I was concerned that people would come in with the mindset that, I have not watched Arrival yet, but I was concerned that people would come in with the mindset that we are AI. And I don't know if I'm prepared to go that far. I have theorized that in past videos, that perhaps we are the artificial superintelligence, like the collective consciousness of the human race is the artificial superintelligence of another species in which we are the simulated versions of, like the true humans. But then people tend to take that a step further, and then they sort of want to just dehumanize the human experience. And I just didn't want to do that, because then there's a temptation to be like, well, we're just NPCs, right? And I don't know if I'm willing to accept that we're just NPCs, because then that would also I would also have to accept that I'm just my body, right? I'm just a robot. But everything that I've read about out-of-body experiences, about near-death experiences, about people who, you know, remote view, things like that, when they leave the body, they actually have much richer experiences out of the body than in the body. So I'm not prepared to accept that. Could we be, if we are in a simulation and we are consciousness having an experience in our bodies, in a human body, which some people have said, could the game have been hijacked? Or could these UFOs literally just be watchers? Like could the purpose of these UFOs just simply be like moderators even, right? Just sort of observing. And then that would mean that they don't really pose a threat. They're just there to sort of monitor everything, right? Hey, Boogie. Thank you. If planes don't float, definitely saw UFO. Interesting. So that's my perspective. That's my thought process there. I would like to know what you guys think. I had a dream about the moon last night. So somebody on my band people, do you think ghosts are beings from another dimension? Yes and no, maybe. Like, I used to have this theory that when you have a near-death experience, actually what I just straight up call it was a death experience, because a lot of the time when people have near-death experiences, they're actually dead. Like they're declared clinically dead, like their brain dead or their hearts have stopped. So they're actually dead. So I don't know why we call it near-death experiences, because they actually have died. But that's besides the point. They report having visions of like lost ones, like their lost loved ones, right? And I used to think like, is that something else sort of impersonating their loved ones? My theory has kind of changed since, just from reading and life and maybe not wanting to be so pessimistic. But could a non-corporeal intelligence, a non-physical intelligence, a non-human intelligence take the form of a loved one in the form of a ghost? I don't think that that's outside of the realm of possibility. Now, if you're asking if I know for a fact, I don't. I actually try to be very mindful of not speaking in absolutes, because at the end of the day, nobody knows shit. Like I don't know, you know. But if you're asking what my theories are, that's my theory. That's just a theory. I mean, it could be anything really. So let me see. So what got me to understand the whole game actually was found outside the Bible. What are your thoughts on psychosis? Actually, I want to answer that. What are your thoughts on psychosis and schizophrenia? Why don't you know though? Because nobody knows anything. Are you talking dead on a spaceship? Okay. So my thoughts on psychosis. I've actually talked about this on my podcast, and I've talked about it on videos on my channel as well. There is something called sudden savant syndrome, and that's basically when the brain is, I think it's like the left anterior lobe, if it's damaged in some way, it allows the individual to suddenly develop like extraordinary talents and ability in math and science, things like that. But it requires their brains to be damaged in a way, which is weird. Don't damage your brain. Disclaimer, don't damage your brain. Don't damage your brain. But you can Google it. It's called sudden savant syndrome. So what that tells me is that your brain, in a way, is limiting you, right? Or restricting you from having those latent abilities, right? Why does changing or adjusting, harming your brain in that way cause you to now suddenly have access to like extraordinary abilities? So when people with schizophrenia or psychosis, for example, present, their symptoms makes me wonder if their brains are, I don't want to say damaged, but they're different in a way that's allowing them to perceive things that are there, but because they don't have normal brains, restricted, because a normal brain is restricted. If we're being really, like, if we're being candid, I think, I'm of the opinion, I should say, that a normal brain is restricted, right? So perhaps people with psychosis, people with schizophrenia, because their brains, you know, are different in a way from the normal brain. Hey, Shay. Maybe they're able to perceive things that the rest of us cannot perceive. Not because there's something necessarily wrong with them. It's just that they're not as restricted. So those are my thoughts on that. And there are other cultures, like, who, when a person has this ability, right, they are socialized they're sort of taught to use those abilities so it doesn't lead to a breakdown. So they don't think maybe that there's something wrong with them. But because we live in a society where even if you have a normal brain, right, if you have an extraordinary experience, like I can't tell you how many people email me or send me messages on Telegram or DM me saying, I've had this weird experience. I'm afraid people are going to think I'm crazy. Please don't think I'm crazy. I'm relatively normal except for this experience, right? So we live in a society that basically forces you to have one type of reality experience. So if you have an experience that's abnormal, you sort of, it's traumatizing. And I think that heightens or kind of makes psychosis and schizophrenia worse because there's a lot of fear now attached to being to seeing this. Like if we lived in a society where you're not demonized for being different, or maybe if we live in a society that actually knew how to handle people whose brains can perceive things that the rest of us can't, maybe it won't be quite as damaging to see things that the rest of us can't see, if that makes sense. But that's my opinion. I always have to say that that's just my opinion. At the end of the day, I don't know. It is what it is. So brain may be more sensitive to, that's gone. Okay. What has been my personal experiences with ETs or UFOs? I have 2 experiences with UFOs. One was I was flying into LAX and I looked outside of the window. I actually still have the picture. And there was something, this is years ago, but there was something that looked like, it actually reminded me of the movie Nope. It looked like a cloud, but it was darker. It was darker and more dense than a cloud. And I swear to God, I said to my husband, I said, there's something hiding behind that cloud because it just looked like it shouldn't be there. I took a picture of it and I circled it and I just kept it in my phone. It's in my phone still. So it was in the sky. It just looked weird. And I just kind of had hung on to it, right? So that was my first experience. And then another experience I had was when I was much younger. I just kept seeing an orb. I can't post a picture now, but I can post it maybe on the Telegram group later. But I've seen orbs, an actual glowing orb. And it wasn't just me. This was a shared hallucination. But I was there with a friend. It was we were hanging out on our street or whatever. It was 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And we saw an orb of light just sort of swirling around us. So that's kind of my only 2 experiences with UFOs, I guess. But I'm certainly interested in other people's experiences, and I certainly don't discount other people's experiences. Just in general, I do believe that, for example, we are each other's eyes. So I'll say that again. I do believe that we are each other's eyes. Nobody knows everything. So it's important for us to listen to each other. You don't have eyes in the back of your head, right? So you can only see what's right in front of you and to the side. So it's important for us to talk to each other because other people's brains and other people's senses allow them to see things that you cannot see, that you cannot sense, right? So I maybe have not had a truly powerful, concrete, I don't even know if I want to, honestly, experience, I should say not yet, that would make me sort of feel like I definitely believe in UFOs. But I do read about, and I have read about other people's experiences, credible enough sources where I trust their tellings. And that's enough for me. That's enough for me. If I trust the individual, if I listen to what they're saying, and it makes me feel okay, why would they make this up? Especially if there's a lot of fear around the retelling, if there's a lot of I don't really want to say this, but I'm saying this because I don't have anybody else to talk to, that kind of energy, and then they kind of go into secrecy after they tell the story. That tells me okay, they're clearly experiencing something. I don't want to discount it as a hallucination. I certainly wouldn't do that. It's just an experience that I haven't had. So I am open to hearing other people and other people's experiences. What are my thoughts on UAP reporting and disclosure? The Beehive is here. I'm not Beyonce. but thank you. My thoughts on that is, on one end, because a lot of people are actually commenting this, they're like, well, why all of a sudden now the government's coming out and they're telling us that it's a thing? On one end, I get why people are saying that. Like, I get that energy because they have lied for like close to 100 years, right? And I am suspicious, like, why all of a sudden are they coming out? And Morpheus, stop. He's trying to join the conversation, but I think he thinks I'm talking to that's my dog. I think he thinks I'm talking to the actual person. He doesn't know how, like, TikTok works. Setup. Does anybody else have that issue? Like, every day I get this thing on my phone about HomeKit setup. What is HomeKit setup? Anyway, I digress. I saw an amazing UFO was huge and slow. Did it do? What's the chance of that all this leads to nothing? That's a great question. I don't know. I have a sneaky suspicion that in 5 years things are going to dramatically change. Like, the world as we know it, our perception of the world as we know it, as we have been conditioned to perceive it, is going to dramatically change. Yeah, that's my thing. That's my thought. That's my feeling. That's my intuition. What that means beyond that, I don't know. Off-grid vibes in the works. Thoughts on lower dimensional intelligence. So the way I break down dimensions, at least up to where I can understand it, I'm not going to claim to have an understanding of like 5D and 6D and shit like that. Like, I don't, But the way I break down dimensions, you've got like first dimension, one dimension, you have a dot, you have two dimension, which is a line, you have three dimension, which is form. So the way I would perceive a two-dimensional intelligence would be like a ghost, right? Or a spirit, right? Because it's not quite 3D, right? It's 2D. And then the way I would perceive a one-dimensional entity would be the orb, because it's not quite form, which is 2D, and then it's not quite 3D, which is us. And then how I would perceive a fourth dimensional entity would be an intelligence that is, that was very aggressive, an intelligence that is capable of traveling through space and time, that it's not bound to the linear flow of time the way we are. Beyond that, I'm limited. It's filtered out in this form, unless I guess I do ayahuasca or DMT, which I won't be doing anytime soon. Do you think it's possible that we live between dimensions? I have theorized that when we sleep, we shift between dimensions, like we jump to the fourth dimension, and by we I mean our consciousness on our bodies, because this is just a vehicle, right? So I don't think we have to wait till we die to leave this dimension. I do think that it happens while we sleep, but once again, it's a theory. Have you heard of the 80-year theory broken into 4 stages? Forgot the name. I have not. I don't need the government to convince me. I like that energy. People with extrasensory abilities. Exactly. Hello, I'm aware of some aliens living here. Interesting. Has anyone seen the show Sandman? Sandman is dope. I've heard about the 4 stages. Okay, you guys can comment on that, because this is the first time I'm hearing it. I had psychic abilities a while ago. I think most people do. But you guys want to talk about Sandman? Let's talk about Sandman. I haven't read the book yet. Somebody just commented, you must read a lot. I do read a lot, but not fiction. And I do wish that Netflix did a better job. Actually, I'm going to say something about Netflix. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to leave it. But I do think that, I do wish that Netflix did a better job of promoting their show, specifically Sandman, because I didn't even hear about it. I didn't know it was coming to, like, Netflix. I'd seen stuff about the book, like the audiobook version. Midflix. I've seen books I've seen like previews on the audiobook of Sandman, but I didn't even know that they were coming out with the show until I turned on my TV and then I saw the preview for it. It just popped up, like it just showed up on my loading screen, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting, let me check it out. And then I like binge watched the whole thing. It was a good show. Are you watching House of Dragon? That's next. I gotta finish Westworld. So I just started Westworld the 4th season about 3 days ago, and I'm doing about 1 or 2 episodes a day or a night. I don't know how I feel about where they're going with it, but I guess that's none of my business, right? I just got to watch it and deal with it. I think the first season, and this is not going to be the last time I'll say this, it's not the first time I've said this, but the first season of Westworld was amazing. That show gave me a migraine. It was one of those shows where you're watching it and you're just like, yo, this is Earth. This is Earth. This is happening to us right now. We're robots. Like you're watching it and you're like, I'm not even high. And I'm just like, I feel high. What's going on? And like everything, every scene, every line, even like just everything just had you questioning your own humanity, your own existence. It was so good. Season 2 was good as well, I think, but not as good as season 1. And now we're just kind of hanging on because I just want to, you know, I'm committed, you know what I mean? Like I'm here now. Let's see where they're going. But I don't know if it's quite as like, you know what I mean? You guys know what I mean. If you watch Westworld, you know what I mean. Like, anyway, do you think Earth could be a firmament? I subscribe to the simulation hypothesis, so I do get that question a lot. I get a lot of like flat Earth type of questions. Do you think the Earth is flat? I'm talking about Westworld and Sandman. But I think when I just said that season 1 was dope, that was Westworld. So I get a lot of questions regarding like, what do I think about the, you know, if the world is really flat, this, that, and the other. To me, I will always respond in this way. Hey, Aura, how are you? Thank you very much for your time and your thoughts. I love your content. Thank you for jumping on the live. I appreciate you. But to answer the question, forget, like, so you're distracted. The shape of the planet does not matter if we're in a simulation. If there's some kind of simulation, it doesn't matter. It's just another way to divide and conquer. So you have people, I think Robert Anton Wilson actually wrote about this on Cosmic Trigger 3. That was his 3rd book. He talked about this. If you go out with the expectation, if you're going to run an experiment with the expectation that the Earth is round, then what the simulation does, he doesn't call it a simulation, I call it a simulation. That was my interpretation of what he was saying. But the simulation will give you results to prove that you're right. And if you go out expecting the Earth to be flat, then the simulation will give you results to prove that you're right. So whatever it is that you expect to see, that is what the simulation shows you. And so that's sus to me. So you have people on both sides. When I sit back and I watch people on both sides arguing to death that they're right about the same thing, something's going on there. And so I just take a step back. I've sort of already said that existence itself is intelligent. Existence itself is intelligence. This thing that we're in is intelligence, is intelligent rather. And so that's the biggest takeaway for me. Anything else about the shape of it or this planet or whatever, aliens, it doesn't, whatever it is that we're perceiving, if we're perceiving it in this world, I think is part of the simulation. And that's kind of what I feel about even like extraterrestrials. If you're able to perceive it, that it's part of the simulation. So we take these things with a grain of salt and keep it moving, if that makes sense. Inner Earth and Agartha. I mean, it's not, okay, so another kind of comment I get a lot when I go live, people ask me about Inner Earth and they ask me about Agartha. At the end of the day, we don't know. So it would be foolish of me to just outright dismiss it based on what I've been told is this is actually Earth's history. I don't know. Could Earth be hollow? I don't know. I've never been, right? So in order for me to take a hard stance and to say it is absolutely this or it is absolutely not this, one, that's arrogant as fuck, right? And two, I would have to believe and trust wholeheartedly the individuals who are telling me that it's not this or it is this. You get what I mean, right? I don't know. I'm certainly open to it. There's an old video I actually did like a year ago where I talked about deep underground. I gotta enunciate, I gotta slow down. My brain's going like 50 miles per hour. Deep underground military bases. Dumb. They're spread out across the entire planet. The majority of people, the average human being, isn't even aware of its existence. And there's like whole ass cities right beneath us that we don't even know about. I am Nigerian. We don't even know about, right? So if just a simple government, right? Sorry, it's hard to get out of it once I start it. If just a simple, I have to speak. If just a simple like sort of government military base is like completely like just we're not even like aware of it. I would not be surprised if like there was a whole civilizations of species of whatever the fuck that like we are not aware of, because we are once again so socialized that unless the news tells you something, hey brother, unless the news or sister, I'm not sure, Monzana, unless the news tells us something, we don't believe it. Like we're just, so I don't even know, I don't know what's going on my own street, guys, right? I can't even speak clearly about what is going on my own street, right? So how can I speak about what's going on this fucking planet? I'm just here. I've just been here. I'm in California doing California things. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So anybody that, like, I've always tell people who listen to my podcast, I say, like, avoid people. No, not avoid. That's aggressive. Don't avoid. You do what you want to do. I'm not trying to tell you how to live. But be mindful of people who speak in absolutes. Be mindful of people who say it is absolutely this thing versus it is absolutely that thing, right? Be mindful of that, because they don't fucking know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows shit. So that's my rant. I'm very ranty today. Let me drink some coconut. This live is brought to you in part by Harmless Coconut Smoothie. It's not, actually. Nobody's paying me for this. I just like it. Sorry, I don't know what you guys are saying. Sometimes I get to talking and it just turns into a rant. 80% of the ocean is undiscovered, supposedly. Yeah. I hate when people ask, what's your favorite, like, absolute fave? What do you mean? Also, somebody give me a crown. And I didn't see it. I'm sorry I missed it because I was, like, leaning into I love the little crowns. Sorry I dipped out when you gave me the crown. Allergic to dogma. Exactly. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Sinkholes found? Yeah, you don't know. Talk about feeling you'd be online. I logged on. Hey, psychic. Does it, like, does it, like, send out notifications when a person goes live? I don't ever, like, go. I'm like that one auntie that's like, how do you do this thing, eh? I don't know how the thing works. I know how to go live. There was one time I went live and, like, I couldn't figure out how to, like, I was like, okay, guys, thanks for stopping by. I got to go now. And then I was like, shit, how do I end this? And it was very weird and people were laughing at me, but it was great. I figured it out eventually. China. Okay. Agree. What are you guys talking about? Sorry, I think there's a lag in I don't have a notification. You just felt it. She felt me. She felt me. I like that. Okay, somebody keeps commenting. If I ask correctly, they always come. Open heart, open mind. Cool. Wait, but you keep commenting that. I can see your comments. I may not respond to everything you're saying, but I can read it. Thoughts on reincarnation as teaching tool by the simulation. Reincarnation is a tough thing for me, guys. Excuse me. Reincarnation is a tough thing for me. Can I explain the fourth dimension? I did. They were before the ultimate consciousness. I don't think so. There's levels to this shit. But reincarnation, let me talk about reincarnation first, but ask me again in case I forget. Can you do a self-portrait? I have a self-portrait. It's over there, actually. It's a triple self-portrait. It's me and multiple selves. Reincarnation. Actually, speaking of reincarnation, that self-portrait that I had, it's on my Instagram page. I think it's a post, and I'm sitting in front of it, and I'm like, and then it's a painting of like 3 versions of me, and it says me, myself, and I, and I, and I. And then on the top, it's like a moon, but if you zoom into the moon, there's like a tiny person coming out of the moon, and that's supposed to reincarnate souls being, ooh, what happened to my eyes? That's cool. Souls being, thanks, Shay. Shay gave me a little crown. It's supposed to depict souls being kind of brought back into this world. Depending on when you catch me, on one end, it's like, okay, Reincarnation, we come back here and we're just supposed to like make different changes, right? Like Jolie is my favorite avatar. And so I come and I play, my consciousness comes back and plays her over and over again. And I make little changes. I make different decisions, this, that, and the other. So on one end, that's what I think about when I'm on my, like when I'm feeling optimistic. Those are my, like my good days. I go, okay, I'm just here to like, you know, just make different changes. And then on my bad days or my dark days, whatever you want to call it, it's not even bad. It's just my moody days. I'm like, yo, fuck this world. Like, fuck this world. Reincarnation is a trap. Why do we keep coming back here over and over again? This is some bullshit. I don't want to be here. What is going on? Right? So it depends on when you catch me, basically, is what I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, I don't know. And I'm sure you guys are probably tired of me saying that, but I don't. I actually love saying that. When I was younger, I used to feel like I needed to know everything, right? So if you said some shit to me and I felt it challenged my intellect, I was like kind of like a know-it-all. It would like trigger my internal monologue. It would trigger the ego, and I'd just be like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Just like super aggro like that. But the older I get, the more I realize like I don't know shit, and that's okay. It's okay. Or Magi's asked me, do I ever paint nature? I love people. So I like painting people. Maybe as I get older. 2022, she must be a reptile. Oh man. So there was one time I did a live and people kept asking me if I was like an alien. And my response was like, yes, I am. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm an alien. What are you going to do? Absolutely nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Not a damn thing. Right? And then some people were like, wait, she's an actual... I'm not an alien. But even if I were, there's no right way to answer that question. I know how humans work. You know what I mean? I know how humans work. An alien, that's the problem, yeah? An alien... Sorry, this is my rant. I don't know why I'm ranting now. I'm taking a date. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go back to what you're saying. This is why aliens, if they are real, don't talk to us because we're dicks. Right? Like, I'll say that again. This is why aliens don't talk to us because we're dicks. Do you think listening to books when you paint frees your right brain? Oh, that's a good question. I listen to books when I paint to quiet my left brain, my internal monologue, because I don't really need to be present to paint. Like when I'm painting, literally, I don't need to think to paint. I'm just going. So when I'm listening to audiobooks, I'm not thinking. I'm just straight up listening, right? And maybe you could argue that it's actually stimulating my right brain because what the author is talking about, I start to visualize. So you might be right. I never actually thought about it like that, so I appreciate you asking that. Thank you. Why am I ignoring your question? I'm not ignoring your question. Hello, do you think humanity has got cold feet as we might approach the singularity? I think humanity itself is approaching a singularity. Okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm actually being a dick on purpose. I apologize. I just have a fucked up sense of humor. To answer the question about God before I go to the singularity, do I believe in God? Not in the way that you think. Do I believe in the biblical God? No. Do I believe in the Christian God? No. My ancestors, how they perceive this world, their input, their experiences matter. And I respect the religious practices of my bloodline, of my ancestors. And they were not Christian, right? They worshipped nature, right? So I respect that. But if you take that a step further, we are not a part of nature. And then I start to pull from Buddhist tenets. I start to pull from Hindu tenets. Rumi, right? All of these, the Sufi. I start to pull from all these different sort of religious thought, which are just basically humans that came before us trying to understand the nature of our reality. The Kabbalion, the Hermetics, right? And they all kind of point to this one truth that we are all God, that existence itself is God. So I wasn't ignoring your question. I literally said like 15 times that existence itself, everything you see is a projection of the all mind, of which we are fractals. That's not what most people want to hear. But that's my answer. I think you're God. I think you're a fractal. I think I'm God. I think I'm a fractal. I think we're all a collective together. Not just humans, though. Animals, insects, aliens, extraterrestrials, everything we perceive in existence itself is God. So that's my answer. How are we not a part of nature? We are a part of nature. That's what I was saying. We're all God. Everything, existence itself is God. So that's my answer. Are you familiar with Irving Goffman's The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life? I am not. My problem with organized religion is that we can't ask questions, right? Humans divorce nature to run away with religion. There you go. We're not all God. Okay. Water is a liquid computer, in my opinion. That's deep. I like that. I just wanted to say you're right before moving on. The Holy Mother has shown me what we are. Interesting. Wake up, girl. Okay, I'm up. All right. Absolutes. Remember I said? Explain fractals. So just like representation of the same thing, just little pieces. That's the easiest way, like little, like a hologram, just little pieces of a whole. Little, like we all have, like water, like a drop of water to the ocean. But the ocean is God, and then we're just the same sort of thing, but in different forms, embodying different forms, things like that. So that's my perspective. I'm asleep and confused. Yes, and you know everything. Like a dream inside of a dream. Yes. Hey, thanks for the likes. Any ideas on the demiurge? So I love the Gnostic interpretation of our reality, because it's interesting that they're actually like a sect of Christianity. So that's interesting to me. And they sort of took the book. I don't want to like turn this into like a Gnostic thing, but I do like the religion. Or at least I like what they teach. And they basically took what was conventional knowledge and they flipped it. And they said that what we think of as God is actually like an oppressor, right? And that this world is a construct. It's the false reality. And the God of this world is actually like not the good guy. So I really like that mindset. Anything that kind of challenges conventional approaches, I'm a big fan of. That's a huge dramatic simplification of who the Gnostics are, but definitely worth looking into. If everything I just said is interesting to you, or you find that interesting, but most importantly, that they were in fact a sect of Christianity. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Shay. Challenging approaches allows us to see the play and everything. I love that. Absolutely. Leela. The great dance, like the great game, right? Mechanic, hero, both again. I like that. The God of this world and society is definitely not a good guy. Well, I mean, if you look around, actually, it's not even looking around. There was a book I read. It's called God, the Most Unpleasant Character in All of Fiction. So I'll say the title again. The title was called God, the Most Unpleasant Character in All of Fiction. I don't remember who the author was. But what he did was he took all of the biblical verses, especially in the Old Testament, and he like showed you where like the biblical God talked about like rape being okay and abusing children is okay, and like just the worst, and he put it together in a book. And like you get halfway through and you're like, I was like legit, Dan Barker, thank you. I was legit like, holy shit, like no pun intended. I was like really, like it was very eye-opening. I had recommended it to some of my friends who practice the religion, and they didn't want to read it, understandably so, but it is a good book if you are interested. It's well organized, but that's not a God of love. That's just not. And so in order for me to believe in that God, I would have to believe in something smaller than me. So I'll say that again. In order for me to believe in that God, I would have to believe that he was smaller than me. And so that is a weird vibe. You get what I mean? Like to believe that I'm better than God? I don't know, but I don't want to turn this into this is about aliens. This is why I typically ignore religious questions. Do you think we're getting genetically modified by aliens? Lots of historical symbols that look like DNA. Are we being genetically modified? I don't know. The thought of is Earth being terraformed, but not in the way that we think, has crossed my mind. Like somebody had commented 2 videos ago, they said, we're not talking about aliens because we have more important things to worry about, like climate change and flooding and famine. And my response is just what popped into my head was like, well, how do we know that all of this stuff isn't being caused directly or indirectly by a non-alien, like a non-human intelligence, or by aliens? It's still like the cognitive dissonance. That's why I said earlier, like, if I were an alien, it would be so easy to take over this planet if it hasn't already happened. I mean, it would just be so easy because, one, we've been so programmed to not even expect it. Like, I could literally pull my skin off right now and you guys would just be like, that's CGI. That's really good CGI, right? I could just be like, okay, guys, I wish I could do that actually. It'd be so amazing, right? And you could post it. Like, I'd be sitting here talking to you guys right now and just do some weird shit, like just some untoward, like just weird shit. And most people have been conditioned to not even. It's just so. We're like somebody commented earlier. We're sitting ducks. You know, we are. We've been gaslit for years, so we don't even believe our own perception. We don't trust ourselves. So could that be happening? I do think that we are. I do suspect, I should say this, I do suspect that humanity, our collective consciousness, and this has been something that has been dear to me, that I've been consistently talking about, even knowing that it sounds wild. I do think that it's not far-fetched to think that an invasion has already happened. I do suspect that it is the internal monologue, what we call the internal monologue. And I do think it presents as a voice, but could it be something non-corporeal, non-physical? Could it be an auditory consciousness, as in something that only exists or is only perceptive or perceivable to us with our sense of hearing? Because what we are sort of socialized right now is to only believe what we see. But seeing is just one sense. Seeing is just one sense. So if you see something weird, right? You could see an alien. Can you hear an alien without seeing it? Can you see an alien without hearing it, right? Are the two, like, why is it that we only trust what we see? Another thing, a third sense, a third perception is feeling. So I've talked about this before. I have felt something or sensed something. It's energy. So can you feel something? These are still senses. We're so kind of like these literally tunnel vision. Yeah, you talked about that. Or Aura Magi talked about that, right? But we're so conditioned to only trust what we see. Seeing is believing, right? So once again, you are being conditioned to only expect an invader or an alien or an extraterrestrial to present to you with one sense, with visual, like in visual form. But that's just one sense, right? Why is it seeing as believing? Why isn't hearing as believing? If something presented to you only in a way that only your ears could pick it up, does it mean it's less real? Is it less of an ET? Is it less of a, you know what I mean? Like, there are other senses beyond just seeing and hearing. There's also feeling, right? And I can't tell you how many times I've felt something that I couldn't see or perceive in any other way beyond just like feeling energy. But should I discount my perception simply because I didn't see it? Which is what I think leaves us open as a species. I'll say that again. I think that limitation is one of the weaknesses of our species. I feel like one of those like crazy people in like the scary movies or in like the UFO movies that are just like, they have all the shit going on and just like, if you guys just paid attention to all the shit that's going on right now. I know my hair is doing its own thing. Anyway, so just because we can't see something doesn't mean it's not real, is what I'm basically saying. Do you think other civilizations have risen and fallen in millions of years? And absolutely, yeah, absolutely, 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 yes. I've done videos on this. Do you believe that our planet is being protected by ETs? Protected? Why would you think? I'm not taking a stance either way. Okay, what I'm tempted to say, why would you think protected? Hey, buddy, Larkland in the house. Love when you guys pop in live. I do a terrible job of actually telling you when I go live, but I'm glad that you guys pop in. Appreciate you. I'm tempted to answer. Somebody asked, do I think that Earth is being protected by ETs? I don't know, but I'm tempted to say that if we are being protected by ETs, it's like the same sort of protection that, say, like a sheepdog would protect the farmer's sheep. It's dark, but that's my perception. What show are you currently digging right now? I'm right now watching Westworld season 4. It's not, like, I'm not wild about it. It's not as, like, I've been whining about the last hour or so. I'm not like wild about it, but like, you know, it's Westworld, so I'm gonna keep watching it. I really loved definitely loved the first season. Thank you for being yourself. Hey, appreciate you. What if there's a malevolent and benevolent beings fighting over Earth? Why not? So that's the thing. That's the thing about people who, for example, report like channeling, like intelligence, like they channel information and they say it's like an alien. And they assume that if something presents, for example, as light, it's good. Once again, we're sitting ducks, right? Because it's like, we're really easy to, if I was an alien and I wanted to fool people, it's really easy to fool humanity, right? Because to present as a light being, right? Because we're socialized. Light is good, dark is bad. So if I was an alien and I wanted to like, that's what I would show up. I would just be like, hey, I'm a good guy. Look at me. I'm glowing, right? Yeah, we're not, like, I'm not, I feel like it's already, the invasion already has happened, but it is what it is. We're just not, I mean, it is what it is. So you guys know where I'm going there. I think that if there are, because in the way this reality is set up, everything is dual. So if there are intelligence or people who are channeling light beings or good beings that are communicating information, there has to be factions. There has to be opposing factions. That means that there has to be ETs or interdimensional, entities, whatever you want to call it, that don't have our best interests at heart. So one, the idea that if there are aliens, it's just going to be one species is wild to me. Like, why? Why would it be just one thing? Like, why would it just be one thing, right? It's not necessarily just the UFOs or UAPs. It could be different things that we can't even perceive. Like I said, I keep saying our limitations are, we think that we just have to see something, but could it be something that you could also only hear, right? From what I've read, people don't really talk about how, for example, UAPs or UFOs sound. It seems like you're seeing them. You know what I mean? So that once again, that's something that's only tuning into one sense. I just kind of want people to just kind of be open as far as like their minds of what to expect. But that's just me. Before humanity and the aliens and eventually the home world would come to check up on us. Tech-friendly AI, maybe. We'll almost assume they'd be our size. Yeah, that's another thing. History shows that huge jumps in associate them being soundless. You see? So somebody just commented that UFOs are usually associated with being soundless. So that goes back to the point that I was making. Oh, I need counseling. Oh, okay. I'll go to counseling. Hold on, though. There we go. All right. Sorry, I had to block them. Um, that's a thing that's weird to me. So it's 2022, and and literally, literally, they're having congressional hearings coming. Like members of Congress are saying that like military personnel, pilots are reporting seeing UFOs, right? And having experiences or UAPs, whatever you call it. Like they're filming things. And then people in 2022, like the government is coming out and saying, yeah, there's some shit going on. We don't know. It's not caused by humans. And in 2022, you're still jumping in and calling people crazy. At this point, who's crazy? It's you. But it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I had to block him. Um, please be respectful. Absolutely. I mean, it's a weird vibe, you know, like, but it makes I feel bad for people like that because I think honestly, what it comes out of a place of, I just made you a moderator. It comes out of a place of fear, right? It comes out of a place of fear. It doesn't vibe with their narrative exactly. They recently made adjustments to protocol to ask individuals to report all UAP sightings. Yeah. So, like, on one end, I think I understand some people are saying like why should we trust the government to now tell us the truth after years of lying to us, and that's a valid question, right? Because if somebody has sort of I have to ask the same question. If somebody just lied to you repeatedly to say like no, this isn't, it's this, that, and the other, now all of a sudden they're coming for. But on the opposite end, yes, you could make the argument that this is just some huge ruse that they're planning, right? I've heard people talk about like Project Bluebeam, and they're just setting us up for this huge, like, you know, reveal, but it's just another way to control the masses, right? For example, what's that show? Oh, come on, Watchmen. But the HBO series, they kind of did that where they faked a UFO. I think it was like a giant squid or something like that, but they faked a UFO in order to like get people to conform, right? So I get that mindset, but on the opposite end, like, what if your assumption is wrong? What if they're genuinely, because I've met military personnel and I've met government officials, and they're just like they're just like regular people. Like I don't know if they're that smart. I mean, I'm not saying that they're dumb. I'm just saying like I don't know if they're that, like, I do think that perhaps something is going on. I could be wrong, right? But to me, it's better to just like err on the side of caution. You know what I mean? And just say, okay, that could be something that is possible. That is certainly a probability. You get what I mean, right? Like you could. It's okay to distrust a liar because they've just lied about everything. So I get that. I'm not saying now is the time and all of a sudden you trust them. But on the opposite end, they do seem genuinely concerned, right? And who knows if this is all just part of a ruse. I don't know. If this is all a psyop, I don't know. Watch, observe, sit back, you know, take everything with a grain of salt. But at the end of the day, we don't know, right? Somebody just commented, they're not very wise, otherwise they wouldn't be trying to control other people. Exactly. I think it's a red flag when people don't question things. Absolutely. I also think it's a red flag when you are actively trying to question things and you're actively trying to sort of think outside the box and you're trying to sort of make sense of what's going on beyond what you're told. And people kind of hop on and they're just like, you're crazy. That's a fun word, right? It's a word that they came up with to scare people, right? Because that word is loaded. That's a loaded word, right? If you call somebody crazy, a person could literally lose their freedom. Like, I'm not being dramatic here. There are people who, not that long ago, women, not that long ago, not history lesson, not that long ago, women were institutionalized. If a woman had money, her male, like, family members would put her in a mental institution, in a mental hospital, and take her money. They would call her crazy, say she had hysterics, whatever the fuck, and then they would institutionalize her. That was just a way for a male member of her family to take her money. It's also a way to control people, right? So that they don't trust each other, right? It's also, if you don't believe an official narrative, then you're going to have this label slapped on you. It's a dangerous word. I don't like that word. I don't take it lightly, but you can't control what people say. It is what it is. But every time people use that word, I think of it as a weapon. Next time somebody calls you that, like, pay attention to what they're actually trying to do with that word, because they're trying to discredit you. They're trying to stop you from doing something that makes them feel some type of way, right? Like, what are you thinking? Don't do that. That's crazy. Because how dare you actually think outside of what we've been told? Anyway, back to your comments. Science is 100% inclusionary. Scientists, not so much. Interesting. Like they try to do with Diana. They do that with Princess Diana. I didn't know that. That's terrible. Tone policing, absolutely. Have you seen Nope? Yes. Do you think the singularity is when we expand beyond dualistic ideologies as a collective? I certainly hope so. I think everybody's like super focused on like the technological singularity. What we're not talking about, oh, thank you. What we're not talking about is humanity itself, our collective consciousness. It seems to be that, unless I'm just like being super optimistic, you guys let me know if you feel the same way, if you observe the same thing. I think that humanity is starting to wake up. Is it just me? I don't know. You need to repost these on YouTube. I don't mind tapping. I actually do repost them on YouTube. The last live I did, I haven't posted it yet, but I will, and I definitely will post this one as well. Thank you, Aura Magi. I appreciate you. Have you heard of Ashaya? I have not. Wait, what are you guys saying yes to? Sorry, there's a delay. I just forgot what I just said. Oh, okay. Okay, you guys agree that humanity is waking up. Yeah, because like so much of what humanity is waking up. All right, cool. I totally forgot for a second, but yes, thank you guys for letting me know. But so much of what humanity has been programmed with, we're starting to realize like it's bullshit, right? Like as we get older, with social media, I'm not going to speak specifically about this app because this app is shady, but social media as a whole is like causing us to like realize like how much of our history has been a lie, how much of like everything that we have been programmed to believe was less truth and more dogma, right? So I think humanity itself is moving to its own, I think not even just humanity, I think consciousness itself is moving to its own sort of singularity. That's my thing. Somebody said woke or awake. I don't understand your statement, love. I have been a victim of some sort of mind control sound attack, and I was watching the History Channel. Interesting. It was in Cuba. There was an incident in Cuba. You can actually Google this, where American ambassadors and like diplomats were reporting being attacked by sound. I read about this a couple of years ago, and they actually had some follow-up stories on it, but it was some sort of like sound weapon, and it was making people feel like sick. And it was only American, thank you. Somebody just commented, Havana syndrome. So that's a thing. There's a 60 Minutes on it. Okay, I didn't know that it actually made it to 60 Minutes. Yeah, there you go. So so it's more than Cuba. Okay, all right. So I'm not going to read what you guys are saying. It's outside of Cuba. So I happened across a story years ago when it was just happening only in Cuba. Somebody's saying it's been scientifically been disproven. I don't know how it's been disproven if there is 60 Minutes on it. So I'm going to have to look it up. Most people are saying that, hey, Fractal. Most people are saying that it hasn't, that there is like more and more people reporting on it. So the sound weapon is called LRAD. The U.S. has one. I have heard of LRAD. Whole series of government programs that History Channel are talking about. This happens. Interesting. There's more reports now, but the initial reports were from individuals inside of Cuba. Yeah, I remember that. U.S. intelligence people were attacked in D.C. Wow. Before we move into virtual reality, I think we might create our own avatars by scanning ourselves. I mean, we're there. It's so exciting to be alive right now. I get why I'd reincarnate to this. Oh, I like that. Check out Scientific Americans, Citations, just saw Nope. Okay. All right. A couple people have been asking me about Nope. What I like about Nope is that I don't want to spoil it. It was a different interpretation. It was a different interpretation on UFOs. And that's one of the things I liked about it. It still wasn't, in my opinion, as powerful as Get Out. Like, I will always love Get Out. Like, his first, I don't know what it is about, like, the first for me, but his first movie, Jordan Peele's first movie, I really liked it. And I felt that there was some disconnect between the first half of the movie and the second half of the movie. And I'm trying to not to spoil it, but if you guys haven't seen it yet, you should go see it, because it is good, and let's support Jordan Peele. And there were things that I wanted him to do that I don't want to say I was disappointed, because it was still a good movie, but I was kind of disappointed when he went the way he went. But ultimately, overall, what I loved about the movie was that it did present a different exploration on what a UFO could actually be. So that's my thought on that. Is it on any streaming apps? No, because it just came out. It's always bad when a director has to match the impact of the first movie. Yeah, he did. He started off strong. I'm sorry. Like, Get Out was like good. Us. Okay, let's talk about Us, because somebody keeps asking about parallel universes. What I liked about Us was that it started off with the mirror. Like, the setup was great. So it started, if you haven't seen Us at this point, I'm sorry, I'm about to spoil the movie. Spoiler alert. But it started off great, because I liked the parallels. I loved the concept of as above, so below. And then it just went to this whole other thing about everything you do, there's a person down beneath you doing it, but they were actually like physical, and then they were like clones of you. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this shit was so annoying. Like, why didn't he, like, I wish, what I would have done, if you're watching this, Jordan, I love you, but hire me. What I would have done was I would have had them come through the actual mirror. I would have had them come through the actual mirror, come through the actual mirror. And then I would have tied them to be an actual, sorry, 1 second. I'm going to continue my rant in 1 second. Just hold on. Sorry about that. All right. But what I would have had them come through the mirror. And I would have had them be like come from a parallel universe, right? Because that would have made more sense. Than like, because, okay, so like when I left the theater, right, I was thinking, okay, so like, yeah, well, she did grab her throat through the mirror. Yeah, like, but like, make the, okay, hold on. I'm ranting. My brain's going too fast. I gotta slow down. Hold on. Okay. All right, here we go. What I would have done, first of all, I know it's difficult to make a movie, so I'm not trying to discredit him in any way, shape, or form. I actually don't want to be one of those kind of people. They're just like, well, this is stuff. Like, I probably would have done this and stuff. Like, that's really dickish when people do that, and I don't want to be a dick, but I'm about to be a dick. What I would have done is that I would have had them literally be from a parallel universe, right? And I would have had them come through. And then I would have basically really tied in the concept of as above, so below, right? And I would really been like, we are literally from a parallel universe. We are locked to you guys. And our universe is like coming to an end because you guys are dicks for whatever reason. So we're coming through and we're here to fuck shit up, right? That's what I would have done. I would have made it more esoteric. I would have made it more like creepy. This whole like hands across the US thing, like I get that it was a commentary on like inequality and things like that. But like I would have made it more creepy. And I would have made it so that anybody who watched that movie, whenever they looked in the mirror, they would like be uncomfortable. Like I would want them to be uncomfortable with their own reflection after watching my movie, because the whole part of them, like when you're in the plane, right? Like that made me think like, okay, if your doubles are just echoing everything that you do, then what happens when you're flying? Are they just moving super fast through the sky? Like that didn't make any sense to me. That threw me off. I don't know why I'm ranting about Us, but anyway, yeah, Nope was it was good. Go see it. It's just disconnect. I don't know. Do you think aliens are actually from Earth's previous civilization? I actually did a video before I hopped on this live. It's on right now. Thank you. And it would make sense to me. I think I have several videos on this actually. Like I think that we can't be the most advanced civilization to ever live on this planet. We just can't. I don't believe it. I mean, the planet is like 4.6 billion years old. We've been around for like 2 days. Like, what the fuck are we? And we think that this is the best that like Earth could present in terms of like intelligence. It's not. So could there have been like more intelligence? There's like too much light. Sorry, in case you're wondering what I'm doing. Could there have been more advanced like civilizations that have like lived on this planet before we? Yeah. Could they have been more technologically advanced than us? Yes. Do they exist right now? Maybe. Maybe they evolved beyond bodies. Like we keep talking about like wanting to upload our consciousness into like robots or whatever the fuck. But what's after that? Like after a while, you're just not going to need body anymore, right? And then what would humanity be, right? So I think somebody asked about I think it's called the Silurian hypothesis. And that's basically what the Silurian hypothesis is, that Earth has housed other advanced civilizations, probably reptilians, honestly. And it was based on a Doctor Who episode, that's Silurian hypothesis. And we can't be the most advanced one, and they're probably just kicking it right now. But I would take it a step further and say that they're not in physical form. They've actually evolved beyond the body. Okay. The average person wouldn't even know how to build a computer if technology was wiped from Earth. Exactly. What did you know, Jason? Jason just wrote, ha ha ha, I knew it. What you know? Sometimes I say stuff and I don't know what the trigger is. What did you know? Wouldn't know how to harness electricity. I don't know shit. Like if the power grid, if all the random bullshit that I know, if the power grid went off right now, what am I? I have like some solar powered stuff. I legit do this. Like anytime I buy a book, I back it up to my iPad just in case shit goes down. And then I have a charger for my iPad and for my iPhone, but it's solar powered so that if civilization falls, I can at least have books. And I have seeds as well. I'm like a prepper, but I'm not that committed to it. I just want my books and my like plants. That's it. But yeah, I wouldn't know. Most of us would not know how to like rebuild our entire civilization. We're not that smart, myself included. I've thought that aliens might be from the future, traveling back in time. Well, it's just easier to travel from the past to the future than it is from the future to the past. So it makes sense that they would actually probably come from the past. You just have to accept the fact that Earth being 4.6 billion years old, we can't be the most advanced species to ever been on this planet. I don't think so. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's why some of the knowledge on how some civilizations are built or did things are just lost. Exactly, because that's like time, right? A lot of things would get lost in time. There's a great anime called Dr. Stone. A couple people have commented that, and I forgot about it, but I'm going to check it out. Try to keep the iPad and a lead line safe. Otherwise, what is that? Cardington event will wipe it clean. What is a Cardington event? I'm a quantum leap kind of guy. I didn't even, now there's something else for me to worry about. What is a Cardington? What is that? What is that? What's going to happen to my iPad, man? Your logic is revitalizing, coming from old faith and believe shit was getting jaded. Your logic is revitalizing. What do you mean? Coming from old faith. Carrington event, I think they mean. Oh, gotcha. I still don't know what the Carrington event is. But now I need a lead case? Does that have to do with like EMF? Dang it. EMF. It does have to do with EMF. God damn it. Okay, I'll find one. I'll get a case just in case. I get a case just in case for my iPad so I can have audiobooks to listen to as the world ends. It's like a Faraday cage. I think it's like a Faraday cage. I've seen them on Amazon. I wanted to get one for my iPhone. I actually have the little stickers that I put on my phone for like EMF. I don't know if those things work, but I have like 8 stickers on my phone. I have a lot of stickers on the back of my iPhone and my iPad just for like EMF. I don't know if it's legit or not, but like, doesn't hurt. Is tomorrow the day? Is tomorrow the day for what? You can get them on Amazon. Thanks for the information. Coronal discharge. One in the 1880s. Interesting. So yeah, that's my vibe. It wouldn't matter if the grid can't charge your phone. Solar power. Solar charger. I have solar charge. Oh, is the world ending? Is the world ending tomorrow? Oh, is that what everybody's saying, the 0010? I have no thoughts on it because one, I haven't seen any videos on it. People are saying that's like it's going super viral on TikTok. But TikTok's not, the algorithm is not showing me any of that, so I have no idea. Um, Sorry, I got nothing. Uh, something, I think somebody said that it means like we're going to get superpowers or something on the 25th. I don't know. Nikola Tesla did experiments in the 1800s sending signals into space. Interesting. Supposedly exit the Matrix day. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to call, I'm not going to say anything about that because I don't want to trap myself in a reality tunnel. Because on one end, I could be like, I'm going to call bullshit. And then simply because I don't believe it's going to happen, I get stuck here. So I'm not gonna do that to myself. There's a part of me though that wants to call bullshit, but just in case, I'm gonna say sure, why not? Let's get the fuck out of here. Um, you never know, you know what I mean? Like you just never know. But there's a part of me that wants to say bullshit. But you know, you never know. So I'm not gonna jinx myself. Do you think ancient civilizations might have had computers? Yeah, I do. You guys need to watch my videos. I know you don't know me from me. Like, obviously, like, your world does not revolve around me. But I've been talking about this shit for years. I also have a podcast. So, yeah, the short answer to that is yeah. Um, but, yeah, I'm always about just in case. Do you think computers could have made humans? Yes. I have videos on this. Watch my videos. I think that I think that humanity, I think, I've said this so much. I'm not, don't take this the wrong way. It's not even personal to you. I think you have no way of even knowing. Like, you don't know me. You just hopped on there. It's probably the first time you've even heard of me. I don't know why I think that, like, people know who I am. Anyway, yes, I have videos where I talk about that could humanity be the artificial superintelligence of another civilization, and we are simulations of the true humans. I have a couple videos on that. So yeah, my dad always believed that aliens existed. I never did until I saw them. It's like it's a thing about the black screen theory. The thing about belief, it's interesting, right? If I said something to you like, do you believe your parents love you? By asking you that, it's implied in the question that there's doubt. Doubt is implied in the question of belief, right? So it's kind of a weird thing. So I'm very mindful. I mean, I have slips, but I'm very mindful of not believing anything in the sense of like painting myself into corners. I'm certainly open to it, right? I don't have to believe in aliens. I'm open to it. Right? Do I know that aliens exist? Well, no, I haven't had any experiences. But common sense would dictate that we can't be the only intelligence on this plane, in this dimension, whatever you want to call it, right? So keep your mind sort of open to it. But just be mindful of, I don't even know if it's faith. Because to say I have faith in aliens means like I expect them to do something. They could be dicks. Like they probably are, honestly. Because look at this world. Look at this world. Yeah, if aliens are real, they probably would, like, because I watched a video before I hopped on live. This guy showed how, like, Black Widow, like, they're male Black Widows. I don't know what they're called. I don't know what Black Widow males are called. Spiders. Anyway, they gift, in order for them to mate with the Black Widow, they are supposed to present her with a gift of like an insect or whatever. But what they do instead is sometimes they present trash, and then they wrap it up in like decorations to trick her, to like mating. You just saw the video, to trick her with mating. And then, after she mates with them, then she's like, and he's like, ha, I got you, bitch. But the counter to that is she's called a Black Widow for a reason. So karma. Anyway, right? But you see stuff like that happen in nature, and then you just go like, who designed this? Like, that's really dickish. You know what I mean? Like, why are they awful? awful spiders, you know? And so if even spiders are petty like that, no, for real, like for real. This video will be on my YouTube channel. But if even spiders are petty like that, you know, as above, so below. If a spider can be that petty, like, I wouldn't be surprised if aliens are petty. Like, there's just, if they exist in this world, then they're part of the simulation. And if they're part of the simulation, they're probably dicks. You know what I mean? So, here we are. Like, the fact that they just kind of hover around us is dickish. Like, let's talk about that. Like, who does that? You know what I mean? Like, imagine I just showed up at your house. And like a fucking creeper, I just stood and watched you. Every day. Right? You never seen me before. I just stand and just... every day. That's dickish, right? Like, why are you being a creep? It's creepy what they're doing. Like, either show up and do what you need to do, or like, get the fuck out of here. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here being fucking creepers? The Greys. Like, get up. I feel like talking about it now. They can't intervene. Okay, then don't come. You're already intervening. You get what I mean? We're just one big cringy reality show to them. I agree. Because people keep saying, well, the reason why they just observe us is because they can't intervene, but we can see you. You don't think that's weird, guys? You don't think that's weird? We can see them. They're already intervening. So even if the Star Trek's like Prime Directive is a thing, it's real. Okay, let's just say that. Then you're already interrupting our shit. Like, we can see you. I'm not supposed to actually like we're not supposed to like, observe you guys, and you guys aren't supposed to know we exist. Then why are you in our skies? It's weird. Anyway. Thanks, that's my art. Nature photographers, right? They're not supposed to, but you're there. They can see you. In fact, nature's photographers, they actually talked about this. There's a book I read, I don't remember the title right now, but they said that when a photographer goes to take a picture with his camera, an animal will typically turn and look right at the camera. So even animals can sense when they're being observed. Now, nature photographers know this, yeah? Nature photographers know this. So I would imagine that aliens from another planet know that when you observe something, you change its behavior. I'll say that again. If you can travel across like time and space, right? And, jump dimensions, you also should have a basic sort of rudimentary knowledge in quantum physics that anything you observe changes. Like, just the simple act of observation changes it, right? So you're already intervening. So then get the fuck out of here. Like, why are you here? Anyway, I don't know why I just ranted on that. Do I sleep? Yes, I love sleeping. I actually have one of those weighted blankets. I don't know if you guys have actually tried that. That shit is amazing. Oh my God. I used to like toss and turn. Okay, the way I sleep is ridiculous. I don't think I would have survived in any other moment in history, because I sleep, like, this body is stupid. Like, it's so soft. This is the softest, but I don't mean soft. I just like, as far as like survival is concerned, I don't know how I've made it this far. It doesn't make any, for me to sleep, I'll tell you guys how I sleep. For me to sleep, okay, first, let me tell you, do you guys want to hear how I sleep? I'm going to tell you guys how I sleep. Only if you want to hear, because, we can go back to talking about aliens. Let me read what you guys are saying, though. Along with your books, you need your weighted blankets. It's just too much. Like, what is this? I would not have made it, like, in the safari or whatever the fuck, right? Like, I wouldn't have, okay, I will tell you guys how I sleep. Okay, this is my sleep routine. It takes me, like, 30 minutes to an hour to get ready. I have to, like, I have to. I don't have to do this, but I have to, like, get a really hot, like, face towel and like let that sit on my face, and then I have to like exfoliate, and then I have to do my face creams, and then I have to like obviously brush my teeth and floss, and then do like my peroxide, like my whitening thing, like hello, and then I gotta change for bed. I gotta like I spray, I mist myself with lavender. I'm fucking extra. Like, I would not have made it in the 1700s, 1600s. I could only have existed in this moment in time. It's actually kind of sad. It's a shame, really. Like, it's too much. I haven't even gotten to bed yet, okay? Aw, nobody cares how I sleep. They do. It's so bad. Why are you a hater? You had all of this opportunity to, like, just be a decent person by, so I do all of that. I, like, spray myself and everything like that. And then I go to bed. What I do is I have a travel pillow. You know those pillows that you're supposed to, like, sleep with or whatever when you, like, what does it say, hating on a Friday? I know, like, who does that? So the travel pillows that you're supposed to sleep with, like, when you travel, I put that on my neck when I sleep, because what it does is, do you guys ever wake up with, like, that crick in your neck when you, like, fuck your shit up? Like, does that ever happen to you? Because that used to happen to me. Like, I don't know why this thing is making me light skinned, so hold on. It's, like, doing too much. I need something for my neck. So I put this, I put the travel pillow on my neck, because otherwise I wake up doing, like, weird shit with my body. So I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on while I'm not in my body. So I just get this travel neck pillow and I put it on my neck, and then it just keeps my head in place, right? And then I take the weighted blanket and I weigh that shit down. I weigh this body down. Like, you're not going anywhere. You're staying in place. And then sometimes if I sleep on my side, I hug the pillow. So I'm hugging the pillow, got the neck thing on, got the weighted blanket. I'm just doing the most. Just doing the most. Like, our ancestors used to just sleep on the floor. Maybe on some hay or straw or some shit. Like, my bed is this, like, orthopedic bullshit, like, where it raises, you push up, it's remote control, my head goes up, it's just got to be balanced the right way. I need it to, like, adjust to my back, like, it's got to contour, like, what the fuck? Honestly, I'm a little embarrassed. I if anything happened, it's over. Like, just all of these movies that come out when, like, the world is ending, I'm just always like, just kill me. Is that terrible? Because I'm not, like, like, The Walking Dead, all of that shit, like, The Walking Dead. I remember the first season of The Walking Dead. I don't know if I should say this. I'll say it. The first season of The Walking Dead, right? They showed the people who were cowards and they opted out, right? They opted out. I would have been those people, because I'm not trying to live like that. What? They are eating people. They're human beings that are walking around now that are not humans. You can't arrest them, right? They don't respond to logic and reason. Hey, sir, don't eat my face, right? They will eat you, and they're human. So now the humans have become the apex predators, and I'm supposed to exist in this. And if I choose not to do this thing, I'm the bad person. I can't stay in the same place. I have to just gallivant around looking for canned foods. What is that? No. No, thank you. I would opt it out too. What lavender spray do you use? I actually make my own lavender spray, I'll tell you what it is. So there's something called, I think it's like, I believe it's called hypochlorous acid. It's like the spray that you use. It smells a little bit like bleach, but it's not. It's actually skin safe. And it's like when you get your ears pierced, they give you that spray, and it's just like a gentle disinfectant. So I have like I'm extra, guys. I have a big gallon of this shit. And it's just a very nice, like, disinfectant. So I have that, and then I add essential oils to I have my little mister. So I have a little spray mister. So I have that with the essential oil, and then that's what I miss. That's my extra thing. So I can't imagine going from, like, my Tempur-Pedic fucking ortho whatever the fuck bed, and, like, my pillow that's, like, down. It's not really down, but you know what I mean. Like, I can't believe it's not down pillow or whatever, and I'm hugging it with my neck pillow and my weighted blanket, and then I have to have 2 fans on and the AC. Like, normally I'm cold, just normally, but I like to be freezing. Like, I need to be freezing when I sleep. Right? So I'm supposed to leave all of that and then just go from town to town looking for canned food. No, thank you. I'm not doing that. No, thank you. I guess you're just bait then. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Holistic products are banking these days. Can't believe it's not butter. Do you think Nikola Tesla disguised his research in order to reach out to aliens? Maybe. Who knows? Who was I thinking about? There was a researcher, Timothy Leary. He worked with LSD. And as a result of that, he was actually trying to help people change their brain, help people change their chemistry, their brain chemistry. And the government trying to use his research to like control people because that's what they do. This is why I'm shadow banned. And then like I'll complain like, why am I shadow banned? Because the shit that I say, like this kind of shit. Anyway, he got imprisoned for like 20 years for possessing just like a very small amount of weed. But his research was good. His research was great. The guy was like a martyr. I mean, they ruined his life. But even from prison rather, he continued his work. And as his work evolved, he moved away from psychedelics to communing with non-Earth intelligence. So his story is particularly interesting. So if I could say that about about Timothy Leary, I don't know much about Tesla beyond like reading about his quotes and things like that. The guy was beyond genius, so who knows what he was really working on, you know? So somebody's saying that he said he communicated with different beings. Yeah, anything is possible. Can you talk about the CIA using... I'm sorry, you guys can like hear me gulping and shit. I have like the loudest face. I don't know. But sorry about that if you guys are like literally hearing me swallow and all of that. I just also didn't want an echo. I have several posts on out-of-body experiences actually, and podcasts episodes as well, ASMR. I do have a loud face. My shirt is from jolieartist.com. jolieartist.com. You cannot say that something about your bio because you get like taken down or whatever, but yeah. But the government took all of his work when he died. Of course they did. So the creeper areas are bitter because they can't stand it on Earth. Fuck them. Fuck aliens. I'm going to make a shirt that says fuck aliens. Fuck them. Because honestly, okay, I'm going to go back on my alien rant. Let's talk about that for a second, okay? First and foremost, yeah, they're saying, or we're told that their job, some people believe that aliens don't intervene because their job is just to watch. And they cannot intervene because of some sort of law. That's fine. But by them making themselves visible to us, they are intervening. So let's just set that aside. 2, they're watching us. Oh, they're listening? Fuck you guys. They've heard me say worse. But they're watching us suffer. They're seeing the same things that we're seeing. If they're watching us, then they're watching us. And yes, okay, we have to evolve, blah, 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 whatever. But like, can you at least take out the psychopaths? Just like take out the pedophiles? Can you take out the human traffic? Just take them out. You have the ability to do so. Why don't you take them out? You don't have to like mess with all the other stuff that, we're doing to ourselves. I'm just saying, like, you're already intervening because we can see you. You don't have like a cloaking device or something like that. Why are you here? Anyway, sorry. That's why the creeper alien posts snarky comments on the internet. They're bitter and petty. Maybe. That doesn't intervene rule is only in Star Trek. It is. It's definitely a Star Trek thing, but I'm going to roll with it. Because in real life, they will get rid of the government. Yeah, they're just watching all this stuff happen. They're shitty. To me, it's shitty. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a busybody. Maybe that's my problem. They help when help is wanted. Okay, you're really saying that? Who said that? You think, okay, so you think they help. So, okay, he said that they will help if help is wanted. Help! What do we need to do? Do we need to form a Hands Across America, Jordan Peele style? You have to hold up signs. Fucking help. I mean, what else do you look around now? You're seeing us. You're not seeing this? Watch our TikToks then. If you're watching, help. That's not true. You can't be scared of them. I'm not scared of them. At this point, all the shit I'm talking, they're probably standing right here. It's fine. This is fine. Yeah, I'm light-skinned again. Why is it doing that? Have I seen whose website? Okay, hold on. I want to read what you guys are saying. It is universal law not to intervene. They're already intervening, guys. And I saw this thing. Did I watch the Eternals? I love the Eternals. I love the Eternals, and it had such bad reviews. Honestly, people who leave reviews on movies that like it has nothing to do with the quality of the movie, they're just mad. Like there's something they should be. I don't know what I don't want to like. It's bad vibes. I don't want to say bad things, but like stop doing that. It's a good movie. Some people are like, it's not a good movie. I think they had a problem because one of the Eternals was gay. Why is that why? What's wrong with you? What did gay people ever do? Like, what is, I don't understand the mindset. They did the same thing. If you go and you read the reviews for the Sandman, thank God I didn't even like look to see. I just saw it popped up on, my hair keeps doing that. I don't know who's Anyway, it popped up on my Netflix. I just watched it. But after I watched it, I was like, oh, this is a good show. Let me go read what the reviews had to say. It has like negative reviews. And like, if you look at it at first glance, you're just like, wow, did we watch the same show? And then I decided, because I had nothing else better to do with my life at the time, I I went and actually like read the comments, and I'm like, there's too many gay people? What? That's why you don't like it? It has nothing to do with the storytelling. It's just, it's too gay for you? That's it. That's it. Yeah, I don't like that Death was black. It was a black woman. They're fictional characters, you weirdo. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Sandman. So people were complaining they didn't like that John Constantine was Joanna Constantine. You made a fictional character a female. It's a good show. It's a good show. The devil was poorly cast, not gonna lie. Okay, that's a valid criticism. It had nothing to do with the story. That's more of a casting thing, right? That was a casting thing. I like the guy that played Desire. Don't cancel me. The person, the individual, the entity, the intelligence, the actor that played Desire, like the face was giving, and then the body was a male. And don't cancel me. I'm an elder millennial. I didn't mean to like say the wrong thing about them, but that was a vibe. I like that. That was a vibe. I like that. All right, what else are you gonna say? It was weak with the battle in hell with the Sandman was extremely creative. I like that. I did like the battle. Panic button. I have to watch straight TV all day. It can be good. Why can't we have gay stuff? It's not even gay. Like, it's not like the gayness of the characters had nothing to do. It was just kind of more like oh, okay, those guys are, oh, that's gay. Okay. Like it didn't take anything away from the story. It was just like they just happened to be there. I did like the battle. The battle was dope, right? And I was like going along with the little riddles and everything. Death was a baddie. But I was going along with the riddles and everything. Like, it was like, what was the riddles? It was like, what is more powerful than hope? Or something like that. What can defeat hope? And it was like the galaxy. I'm fucking it up. But it was really genius. Like, I like that stuff. The extra Sandman episodes, Dream of a Thousand Cats. I haven't seen that. Where can I find that? Is that also on Netflix? I am going to also get the book, because it's like when you watch a show like that, like, you know that the book has to be good. What was you guys' favorite episode on Sandman? I know this is like an alien live, but it's okay. Kind of aliens. I mean, you could argue that, Dream. Episode 11, yes, they released it. Lady Week. Didn't even know it was based on a book. It is based on a book. And a comic book series, apparently. That is true. Pandora's Box. Yeah, the Box of Evil. And Hope is in it. Feel better hearing about it, not having seen it. Yeah, and, The Devil in the Preacher was the shit. Interesting. Favorite episode was 24/7. The diner scenes. The diner scenes? That was disturbing. The diner? I don't know what that was called, but that shook me. So I'm the kind of person, actually still have like some existential sort of issues with that episode. Not issues like in a bad way, but Neverwhere. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. But the diner scene had to do with truth. So I'm the kind of person, I practice radical honesty. Sometimes to a fault, like to my detriment. I subscribe to this like mindset that nobody is going to make me tell a lie. It was like a quote that I picked up from a gangster. It was like a mobster or something like that. And he said something like, if you lie, it's because you're afraid, right? So I don't lie to nobody because nobody's going to make me afraid. Like that kind of vibe. And I thought that vibe, I thought that vibe was like a cool vibe, you know what I mean? So I just picked that up and I started practicing radical honesty. But then I watched that episode and yeah, this person was commenting, seeing how destructive radical honesty can be was an eye-opener. Yeah, that threw me. I was like, shit, should I lie? Oh my God. Like just everything, it ended. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it yet, if you haven't seen Sandman yet, but at the end, at the end, I was like, ooh, okay. So I used to kind of think, you know, like, okay, you shouldn't lie. You should never lie. I still try to be honest as much as possible, but it was an episode that made me like take a step back and go, geez, like, is it something, maybe, like it made me question my own morality, you know what I mean? Like, so, but I like shows like that. I like media like that. I like things that make you think, you know, that challenges your perception of how the world should be, how life should be. Have I ever lied? Of course I've lied. In fact, I'm a very good liar. But that's one of the reasons why I try not to, because I don't want to strengthen, like whatever it is that you do repeatedly, you strengthen about you, right? So I just don't want to be that. It's just me. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to strengthen the habit of lying. And I don't want anybody to put me in a situation where I would have to sort of compromise my values. So even if it hurts your feelings, that was always my mindset. Like, even if it hurts your feelings, I'm going to tell you the truth. But that episode did throw me off, and I'm still thinking about it more and more so. Most definitely, I did not go for the Beyonce look. This is just this is my face. Like, God went for the Beyonce look there, and I don't think I look like Beyonce. What did I think of Nope? I've talked about it. This live has been long. Are you guys tired? Some people have been here from the beginning. Second favorite episode is about the man who didn't want to die and they met every 100 years. I love that. That was awesome. And I loved how geeked he was too, right? Like, you kept thinking that episode made me like, I felt stuff in my chest area. Like, I was like, aw, feelings. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, if you're just hopping in, we're talking about the Sandman. I mean, this is supposed to be about aliens, but there's only so long you can talk about aliens. But we're talking about Sandman, and people are commenting on what their favorite episode is. And the episode where this guy, he wished for immortality and he's granted immortality, I kept expecting him to come, you know, every 100 years to come up and eventually being like, fuck this world, right? But every time he came up, like, he was just like, hey, I'm not ready to die, like, let's get it. And then he just became immortal. But also what they were showing was a friendship over time. Gothic Doctor Who, I love that. What they were showing was a friendship developing over time. And as an introvert who like has a hard time getting close to people, watching the Sandman sort of like, you know, open up to that possibility was really touching to me. Like, I did enjoy that episode. So it's a good show. It's a good show. I do see the Doctor Who elements for sure. But it is a good show. I'm probably going to rewatch it after this live because it's my vibe. It's my vibe. I wanted to see how long I could go live for. I've been talking for a while, guys. Like, how many people have actually been here since the beginning? Because I've been on for a while. Like, are you guys not tired of hearing me talk? Smiles and smiles, have fun. This episode is wild. Which episode? What are you guys talking about? Been in and out. Thank you. You ever watched any episode they released after the show came out? No. What are you talking about? I know Aura Magi has. Are you guys not tired? Are you guys like, I'm just going on. Well, I do appreciate I do appreciate you guys. I talk super fast. I do appreciate you guys staying in and listening. You know, means a lot. I'm gonna go to sleep soon. It's only 8 o'clock where I'm at. You guys are not tired. Eastern time. So it's like 10, 11 o'clock where you are. I thought you were going to go see Crow's comics. I thought you were going to see the Crow comics. What's that? Make me feel so relaxed when you go live. Aw, that's sweet. Definitely tired, but also thank you for the space and time. I appreciate this. Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. Okay, is that on Netflix? I'm on the West Coast, so it's only like 8 o'clock. My name is Jolie. You're in Cali. I am in Cali. Vancouver, San Diego. That's very specific. Why are you asking? Stan Lee was, I'm definitely not in Canada though. Stan Lee was really an alien creating snarky content. But I believe that. I would believe that. I would believe that Stan Lee was an alien. It's very important to keep doing this. Thank you. My favorite conspiracy theory. I don't know if I have one. Oh, the sprouts. So, broccoli sprouts. I was talking about it. Look into it. The active ingredients in broccoli sprouts is sulforaphane. It quiets the internal monologue. So I always talk about it. Thanks for the likes. I think I'm running out of energy. Even though I'm dancing right now, I think I'm running on fumes. I'm also sweating. I don't know if you could tell. There's like lights on me and it's just like hot. I'm surprised my face hasn't melted. Do you have any brand on Amazon that you recommend? Brand of what? There's a Joe Rogan episode on sulforaphane. Yeah, you can Google it. Sulforaphane. Coursera and Pure Onco are the two, like my two go-tos. But there's also Best Naturals, which are like maybe like $11-12. So I'll take like one Coursera and then one Best Naturals or two Best Naturals broccoli sprouts. It's important, with mustard seed. Mustard seed I get from Swanson's directly, and it helps with the absorption of sulforaphane. I have not taken, I used to microdose. I still have a lot, and I still will in the future, but I haven't microdosed in almost a month now, but I still have a very quiet mind. I'm still able to sort of keep my internal monologue in check simply with just the broccoli sprouts. Coursera and Pure Onco are the two of the higher end that I take. Thanks for popping in and for staying this whole time, Omar. I appreciate you. So yeah, like your art. Thank you, Becky Joe. Appreciate you. Oh my God, I recently started listening to your podcast. Happy you made it past March 21st date. Yeah, I thought I was gonna die. Turns out I was just predicting the lockdown. I didn't realize that. That was a weird vibe. But yeah, you went all the way back. That's cool. What do you think about Vedic astrology? I don't know a lot about it, but I have heard that it's much more precise and specific than Western astrology, and I'm inclined to believe it. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I think it places me as a Leo. I don't know how I feel about that. But some people say I present more Leo than Virgo, so maybe it's on to something there. The lockdown from 2 years ago. What do you enjoy? In what terms? You should talk to your doctors about what implants, all your implants, huh? Vedic astrology is scary accurate. Yeah. Same thing with like natal charts. Natal charts are like really creepy. Audio implants. Interesting. You definitely have Leo vibes to me. I don't think I'm a Leo. I mean, but everything is saying that I am, but I don't like it. I don't know. I just always identify as a Virgo. Is what it is. Never heard of Vedic astrology. Yeah, look into it. Look into it. All right, guys. I think I should go, right? Libras. I don't like Libras. Is that terrible? I'm sorry. It came out of my mouth. I'm sorry. If you're a Libra and I've offended you, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Well, I didn't mean for it to come out of my mouth. I didn't mean to say it out loud. I said it so fast. I don't have a problem with Libras. I'm sure they're wonderful people. They're great. As are Gemini's. Goodbye. I don't know. Just a personal experience. It's always a fight against the Virgos and Libras. Is it? I didn't know this. I did not know this. I love Scorpios. Scorpios are my jam. I know that they're like evil or whatever. I've heard that they're evil people. But I don't know, I kind of like it. I like the vibe. I'm into like, gothic characters. So, I'm cool with Scorps. Libra, I didn't know that Virgos and Libras don't get along. I just ran into a Libra recently, and I was like, fuck you. Fuck you and your whole entire crew and everything you stand for. Is that terrible? I don't mean it to all of you. If you're a Libra in here right now, if you're a Libra, I'm not talking to you specifically. This specific individual. And I hope that as life goes on, I meet more Libras that make me feel better about Libras. But as of now, as of today anyway, I don't fuck with you. Mustard seeds I take in pill form, and Swanson is the only brand. Swanson, I think you could just Google like Swansons or something like that. I think they're the only ones that carry like the pills. So I have no issues. I have an issue with Libras too. Are there any Libra? Oh, sorry, Dwayne. Yeah, don't take it personally. Scorpios are not evil by any means. People just don't like change and transform. I love Scorpios, but I don't know. I'm weird. I like their vibe. Cancers are cool too. I get along with Cancers. The dragon. I don't know much about that. Do you eat the broccoli sprouts as well? I do actually add them on my salads as well. But it's easier for me to take it in pill form. So I do that too when I can. Well, on a daily basis anyway. Sagittarius to me, what Libras are to you. Any good sources on dream meanings? I think just trust your intuition. House of Dragon. I have not started that yet, but I'm going to. I'm definitely going to because I've heard good things about that. Yo, it's been 2 hours. Is this chick still talking? Flat Earth and astrology? No, we're talking about how much I hate Libras. Now we've moved on. What about Capricorns? I don't have any personal experience with Capricorn. There's just some people that just jump out, and right now it's Libras. I am a Virgo. But Vedic astrology says I'm Leo, so I don't know. Do with that information what you will. I don't think I am. All right, see, you guys are running out of gas, so I think it's my time to go. What do you think? Has it been a good live? It's been a good live. It's been a good live. It has. Virgo. Thoughts on Andrew Tate? I don't know who that is. Aries are amazing, just saying. What's your rising sign? I don't remember. Sorry. I have like a chart and a piece of, like I have like all my shit, like a send. You guys aren't tired of me? You're not tired of me talking? Yeah, I just recently discovered the natal chart thing. So off the top of my head, if you ask me like what my rising and ascending, and I don't know what any of that stuff is. I have to like look at my moon stuff or whatever. I don't know what that means. But yeah, good for you for not knowing. Why is that good for me? It's not, I mean, I don't shit on it just because it's, I mean, I respect it. I have a chart. I just, off the top of my head, I don't know what it means. So, but that doesn't, I appreciate it, you know. Do you have the Time Passages app? No, what's that? I could seriously listen to you talk for hours. Your thoughts are so interesting. Well, thank you, Haley. I appreciate that. That's very kind. I have a podcast, actually, so you could check out my podcast. I talk for a while. My hair is like getting crazier. It started out so nice. It's not like frizzy. Anyway, still can't get over how distracting. Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you. Astrology app. Oh, no. I don't like the like the day-to-day things that tell me how to live. Like I don't like that. I don't like the like, you know, I like to be surprised. I don't, because it's a slippery slope, and then you won't be able to like make decisions because, you know, without consulting like an app, and I don't want that. I just want to make my mistakes and learn from it. You still think I'm from the future? I mean, technically we all are. If the flow of time is an illusion and all of time is happening right now, then we're all time travelers, I think. What do you think? I mean, what do you think? It's 4 a.m. My goodness. Oh no! What's wrong? You should get some rest. Drink some salt, a little bit of water with some salt in it. I'm sorry to hear that. You're not feeling well. That sucks. Okay, from my past. Are you though? Okay. Do you have a Twitter? I do, but I don't use it. Politics. That's a politics question. I don't care. He's old. I'm not an ageist. I'm just saying he's old. Like, if you're not, like, gonna live long enough to see your policies, don't cancel me. If you're not gonna live long enough to see your policies, like, play out, I don't think you should be president, but that's just my perspective. Sorry. I don't like talking about politics. I also don't like talking about religion. So it's nice to see you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm now seeing your comments about the fighting thing. I'm just saying, like, he's old. Like, tired of old people fucking shit up for the rest of us. Like, you've already done. This dude has been in politics forever. It's annoying. Ugh. I don't want to see. See, that was getting political. I think it's my time to leave. The moment it turns political, it's my time to go. It's my time to go. Anyway, you guys have been fantastic. If you have no other questions for me, I'm 75 and I think he's too old. Maybe 65 should be a limit. Honestly, like, it's just, let it go. You know, like, I agree with you. You don't look 75, by the way. Like, that's you aging spectacularly. But, yeah. What's the last life lesson you learned? Oh, okay. That's a dope question. That's a powerful question. I actually want to start taking notes because I believe that I learn, like I always get lessons every day. Sometimes I have a weekly life lesson that the universe or whatever, the greater intelligence is trying to teach me. And the last lesson I learned is that when you are closed-minded and rigid, when you think you know everything, you literally block your blessings, right? If you close yourself off to other people's like opinions, I'm not saying you have to just accept what other people are telling you, but if you close yourself off from other people's opinions because you feel like you know everything and you are insisting on your own way, that is a very good way to block your blessings. That did not happen to me. I watched this happen in real time to somebody, and I was like, wow, that's powerful. What is like his life is about to get fucked up, and that's unfortunate because he's not going to learn that lesson. But I'm a big fan of learning lessons, right? Like I'm a big fan of learning lessons from other people. Like I'll watch you fuck your life up, and then I'll learn from it. Mostly because most people won't listen, right? So I'm learning also. That's another lesson I learned, to stop giving people advice if they're not receptive. Like stop trying to like force my advice on people, even if I know better. Even it's from jellyartist.com. The shirt is from jellyartist.com. It's just one of my drawings. But even if I can see where they're going, it's a really good way for you to like enter into conflict with somebody who's very headstrong, right? And just don't do it. Just leave it, right? Say, I'm learning to just say what I'm observing the one time, maybe say it again the second time. But if you're dealing with an individual who you can tell is just not receptive, leave it. Leave it. So don't be that person, because that's something I'm learning. You know, I don't know everything and I can't see everything. And I tell my close friends this. They'll like my close friends will tell you that I say this to them all the time. If you see me doing some dumb shit, tell me. Don't tell me after the fact, oh, well, I knew that motherfucker was like, don't tell me that. Tell me as it's happening. Even if I don't listen to you in that moment, keep telling me so that I can see what what I might be missing. Because your job as my friend is to show me things that I cannot see because I'm too close, right? On the opposite end, you don't want to be that friend. You don't want to be that person who people are telling. I'm not saying just do everything your friends are telling you to do. I'm just saying that other people have perspectives and minds and views of things that your brain cannot see, it cannot perceive. So it's very important for you to listen and not insist on your own way and not be rigid. It's very important for you to be flexible. So that is the lesson that life has certainly taught me. But I learned this from watching other people fuck up. I've learned this from watching other people fuck up. So that's another thing. You can learn lessons from watching other people fuck up. I'm an empath, been very unfocused lately, feeling heavy and down, just like your video discussing this. Yeah, that's been happening to a lot of people, Becky, especially this summer. But you'll be okay. What goes down must come up. Do you know anything about that? My friends think I'm going crazy. Do I know anything about what? Have a fabulous night. Thanks for hopping on. Actually, I'm trying to wrap this up too. But you guys keep asking me questions. I'm gonna just be crazy lately. Love, respect. Okay. All right. So I don't want to like be scrolling endlessly. How often do you get SI? What is SI? Thank you. It's true. It's a waste of energy that's not appreciated. Yeah. It's just you have to learn to read when a person is being super like blocked and pay attention to that, and then don't try to push through. There's just some people who that's just their. Oh, is that what's going on? You guys trying to make me stay? I mean, most people have left, so I guess we could just hang out for a little bit. Same song here. Have a good night. Thanks, Becky Joe. Get some rest. I appreciate you. Thank you. The aliens popped in. Thanks for the likes, guys. I am actually getting more and more comfortable. I will answer the question because I think you've been asking me where I'm from. I was born and raised in Nigeria. I lived in Illinois, and now I'm in the West Coast, California specifically. So, been around. MSM cream. I use MSM cream too. Yeah, Swanson's. Again, I kind of love their brand, to be honest. Good night. I enjoyed your live. I enjoyed you stopping by, Jamie. Appreciate you. All right, guys. It's like 8:30. I think this is like, it's been a 2-hour. It's been a 2-hour one. All right. Thank you all for stopping by. If I have space on my phone, I'll be able to save this and I will put it on my YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. All right, guys. If you want to say anything else, just hit me up on like Insta or, Telegram. I'm there. I'll go live again. So especially if you guys are coming, because you guys have been great. Yeah. All right. Lots of love. Bye. Hold on. Why is it not? Fuck. All right. Bye.